What's up, YouTube? We're just out here at Venice Jetty in Florida today looking at the remnants of Hurricane Harvey and what it's been doing in the Gulf, and kind of reminded me of little chaos, stirring up stuff, some things that might be going on in your life to cause your waves to get all bent out of shape and turn into a bunch of white caps and come into the beach and just slam you cold. Just kind of like this. So that's a little ominous, isn't it? So, what do you do for yourself when your life gets into that little bit of turmoil like those waves out there and things start getting stirred up? One of the things I like to do after I remember to do it is to step back from it and take a breath and just pay attention to what's going on with me, not necessarily what's going on outside of here. Let's say, for example, I get into an argument with somebody, and instead of me focusing on what that son of a bitch said, what that son of a bitch did, it's more important for me in this moment to pay attention to what's going on to me right now instead of what he said or she said in the past. Because when I start thinking about things in the past, I start to get angry, depressed, shameful, guilt-ridden, remorseful, things of that nature. And what's the point of that? It's not going to do me any good. I mean, now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to get mad. It's just that I don't like to stay there very often or for very long. I don't like to stay there often either, come to think of it. But, that's all something that we need to step back and look at. And what I'm talking about today is, again, a practice called mindfulness, paying attention to being in this moment. And it's really easier said than done. I will admit, I've been practicing this stuff for a long time now, and I get caught up in stuff. I call it taking bait, because when a fish first grabs the bait on your hook, it takes off running with it. And that's what I kind of do. I go off running with it. And fortunately today, usually I don't stay out there very long. I hook and reel myself back in like you would a fish pretty quickly, because I don't like feeling that way. And I can do all kinds of stuff that is going to make it worse for me if I do stay that way. Instead of responding by using my thinking brain, I'm going to react by using my subconscious feelings. So I'll do what I call knee-jerk to a certain situation. So we're going to be talking a lot about mindfulness as we go along in this, because it's my biggest, most productive tool that I've got in my belt, and I want to give you some tricks on how to use it for yourself as we go along. But that was just a little indication of what we're going to do. But now I kind of want to talk to you about how to do it, because it's nice to know what, but you got to know how to do it. So this is what I do. I keep a lot of reminders around me. People that know me know that in my office I have certain pictures hanging up that I've made, prints, posters, things of that nature, to remind me to come back to this moment. Fortunately, I'm in a profession where I have to stay in this moment, because I've got to pay attention to what people are saying. And if I don't, I totally miss what they're there for. But at home, sometimes I just go drifting off, or if I'm in the car, I go drifting off. Now, in the car, I've got a particular type of music that helps remind me to stay centered and focused, so I'll play that a lot. And then at home, we've got things all over the wall. I've got, when my computer goes to sleep, It sends messages, that I've got posted up with pictures and sayings and things of that nature to help remind me to stay in this moment. And another thing that I do is pay attention to what is going on in here. And when I say going on in here, I mean feeling. Now, feeling does not equate to emotion, okay? Feeling is merely a physical response to a chemical that's been discharged throughout your body that we tie an emotion to. Because the truth of the matter is that I feel anger in different areas than some other people feel anger. So if we all felt the emotion of anger, we'd all feel it in the same place. So what I do is pay attention to me. I will focus on, let's say for example, I'm angry. I know myself well enough now that I know my physicalities of the emotions that I identify. So when I'm angry, I get all knotted up in my stomach. So I'll start paying attention to that once I reel myself back in from the bait that I've taken. Now, the bait doesn't have to be external. It can also be up in my head too. If you go back and listen to that video that I talked about shit fairies and boogeymen, that's what goes on. I get all those shit fairies up in my head, and they have committees, and those committees have subcommittees, and once they all get going, it's like, dang, and my thoughts will then trigger my adrenal glands to start producing more cortisol and adrenaline to get me more charged up. And the more charged up I get, the more adrenaline and cortisol I get. And the more adrenaline and cortisol I get, the more pumped up I get. And there goes the cycle, and I'm off and running. And by then it's too late. So I just have to ride that one out, which we'll talk about later. But for now, if I'm paying quick attention to myself, I can just focus on the knot in my stomach and make it smaller. And breathe into it and focus on it and make it smaller. And then when I start thinking about that son of a bitch that did what they did, I reel myself back in, focus on the knot, and make it smaller. This is a technique that needs to be practiced over and over and over again. It does not come automatic. If it did, we would be reacting to a feeling again, because feelings are automatic. So we're going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Put a comment down in the comment section below and possibly share some of the tools that you might use so others could benefit from those as well. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's down there someplace under this video, and right next to it's a bell. Click on the bell too, and you'll get notified when I get a new video out. So until the next time, take good care of yourselves, and we'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye now.